You're watching Driving with Jonny. I'm Jonny, and I'm also leaning on the wing of this ridiculous beast of a yellow car, the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. Not the Z06. That only makes 670 horsepower. I think I saw a wheelchair that makes that much power. No, this makes 1,064 horsepower, and it all goes to just the rear wheels, which is, it's just frankly crazy. But, of course, the ZR1 is about more than just horsepower. It's also about torque. 828 pound-feet of torque to just the rear wheels. So, if you think about the Bugatti Veyron, right? That car was so revelatory, we had to invent a new word for it. It was no mere supercar. It was a hypercar because it made 1,001 horsepower. Only it didn't. It made 986, 987 American horsepower, 1,001 European horsepower, whatever the hell that is. But the Veyron was all-wheel drive, so each tire only had to work with slightly less than 250 horsepower. That's a walk in the park. No, the ZR1, each of its rears, is coping with 532 horsepower. Each. I cannot stress that, and that raises so many questions. Number one, am I going to survive today? Dunno. Number two, can this be any good? Yeah, you can put a lot of power into anything, but can you make it drivable? I don't know. Number three, is this America's hypercar? Just because you have over 1,000 horsepower, does that really make you a hypercar? And most importantly, number four, would I have one? Which by proxy means, should you care? Should you buy one? We're going to answer all those questions and a whole bunch more on this episode of Driving with Jonny. Hi there. I want to talk to you about BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video. I never thought I needed therapy. Straight up, I weirdly assumed that it was for other people, not me. And then a few years ago, I lost 5 people who were hugely important to me in rapid succession. And instead of dealing with it, I bottled it up, and I found myself in a very bad, a very angry, very dark place. I was walking around with my fists clenched and my jaws clenched, and it just wasn't me. And then my wife noticed, and she told me that she didn't marry an angry guy. I was lucky. I was able to get myself into therapy, and it really, truly helped. My anger at the hand I'd been dealt, it went away, and I got the old me back. Instead of spending my days angry, I was once again able to spend them, thinking about, cars and watches. And BetterHelp can help you achieve the same thing by matching you up with a therapist that's right for you. All you have to do is visit betterhelp.com/drivingwithjonny, which you'll find down below in the description or right here on the screen, and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Remember, therapy isn't for the weak. It's for anyone who wants to become stronger. Once again, that's betterhelp.com/drivingwithjonny for 10% off your first month of therapy. Most of the negative things I'm going to say about the ZR1 have to do with the C8 Corvette itself, and that's just the design. Why? You had a clean sheet. There's never been a mid-engine Corvette. You could have done anything, and you did this. Let me show you what I mean. It's not true, but it must be. I feel like every member of the team was given a line. You get a line, you get a line, all that old joke. But look, there's a line here coming off the apex of the headlight for some reason, and then a line, and then a line, and then it just doesn't end. 6 lines. Vertical lines. We like cars that are curvy. And this is just, it's so cut up and fractal. And then even they put this great splitter on there, but it's all jagged. The hood's jagged. It's just yes, it's aggressive, but it's just so many just angles and cuts. And then the side's pretty good. It's all functional, but isn't there a more aesthetic way to do it? It's just sort of blobular, I don't know. So I'll give you an example. I bet you $1 million this is super functional. They spent 900 man hours in a wind tunnel with, an AI robot. They designed this, they got this. But I bet you a Nakaduct would be just about as good and look so much cooler. There's a better way to do it. I understand, in this case, form is following function. It's function first, but why is this thing's ass so high? Well, somebody said, hey, let's put a set of golf clubs in our sports car. You don't need golf clubs in your sports car. You just don't. No one at Ferrari is thinking about golf clubs. Why are you thinking about that in Michigan? Stop it. A word about the wing. I love big wings. I think every car should have a monstrous wing, even your Accord. However, I've driven the Porsche GT3 RS, so this wing could be up to here. They really left a lot, on the table. It's just preposterous. Also, if you look there, and they're gonna fix this, but this is basically a pre-production. Don't want to say prototype, but early build. What do you call it? The camera. So it's a digital rear view mirror. They're going to reposition it, but on this one, the camera is just bisected by the wing, which is hysterical to me. I think they should leave it. It's so cool. Because what if you jump in your Z06 and you're not sure if you're in your Z06 or your ZR1? You just look in the rear view and you can tell by looking at the monster wing. But they're going to solve that. Anyhow, again, these are wonderful cars. I love the Corvette. I wrote the article for the C8 winning Motor Trend Car of the Year. I was there when we named the Z06 Performance Vehicle of the Year. I was there for that. We love these things. This will probably win something. But couldn't you make it look good? Would it kill you? Woo! Yeah. I like power. Is there anything you want to know besides that, yes, the Chevy ZR1 makes 1,064 horsepower, and it puts it down. It puts it on the ground. It's it's fantastic. Anything critical you're interested in? The sound, perhaps? Pretty good. Just a lot of all kinds of noise. There's induction. It's a flat plane, so it's not that V8. It's that 2 4-cylinders next to each other sort of noise. So it's a little more high pitched, a little more buzzy, less grumbly. But who cares? It's awesome. And I like that it has as much torque as it does to go along with that top end, because it's just more fun. Torque is fun. Oh boy. All right. I'll bring things back down to a semi, can I keep my license officer level and talk you through this thing? Yeah. So, have you driven a Z06? And I was actually talking to Mr. Matt Farah before I drove this thing, and he was like, oh yeah, it's just a Z06 with 96 more horsepower. And he's kind of right. You do add horsepower. You also add some weight, which, in this day and age, it's not the end of the world, but I'm guessing this thing is around 3,900 pounds, if not more, which is just heavy. And so some of the, ballerina, holding the scalpelness from the Z06 isn't here. It feels like just a touch clumsier. Not much. I'm picking nits and stuff like that here, but it's just, there's more weight transfer, especially when you transition from a left to a right. It's okay, it's not as sharp as I remember the Z06 being, but it's still incredibly good. And again, it's a testament to how great the C8 is. Okay, this guy's letting me pass. All right, thanks, bro. Look, not only do I remember when the C8 first came out, I'm the schmuck who wrote the Motor Trend Car of the Year story back in 2018. I probably should have taken the time to read it again last night, but I'm almost positive I would have said something like, it's crying out for more power. And so in other words, going from the regular C8 to the ZR1 here, it's more than double the horsepower that it initially came with. More than double. I'm trying to think of other cars. I guess like the Porsche, like the base 911 is like 335 horse, and like GT2 was like 690. It's close, but this is just wild. Although, who knows what the new Turbo S and subsequent GT2 are going to bring to Porsche land. But this can handle even more power. You know how I know? They're selling it. The ZR1X. Actually, I heard a funny story. That was supposed to be Zora. Back in 2013, Chevy actually trademarked the word Zora after the father of the Corvette, whose first name happened to be Zora. But the last second, they decided to call it the ZR1X as some sort of like weird homage to the Buick GNX, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but apparently it's true. Somebody's father, something like that. Anyhow, so yeah, this chassis can take a lot more power. But this is a lovely, phenomenal amount of power. It's just so good. Also, luckily, for the last decade or so, General Motors has been building the best brakes in the world. And it's good because we've got 2 tons with over 1,000 horsepower. You need to slow down in a hurry, and it really does. It really does. Also great, you know, doesn't get any credit, but the Tremec 8-speed dual clutch just handles the power no problem. Like, it's fine. You can shift it yourself. I'll pop in manual mode for a second here. Really quick shifts. The paddles are nice carbon fiber. The rest of the carbon fiber in the interior, except for the stuff on the steering wheel, is fake carbon fiber, but the paddles are real, which is great. But super good transmission. And I mean, the car's just got it going on. It's really hard to, like, pick any holes in it. I mean, there just really aren't any, other than I think it's a little goofy looking. But, you know, I'm a little goofy looking. This thing just flies. Just flies. Woo! Speaking of goofy looking, one of my favorite things about this car is that massive wing. It's a nice reminder, in case you have a whole bunch of C8s. Oh yes, this is the ZR1. Because again, otherwise, you really wouldn't know it from the interior. Lots of carbon fiber, but I think you can get lots of carbon fiber in, you know, any Corvette. Has some cool, like, stitching on the doors and up here on the roof panel, which still comes off, by the way. But, yeah, it's just sort of regular Corvette on the inside. So I think you need that big wing in your digital rear view to know what you're driving. Let's go with that. And it's just a great car to drive. I mean, this one is, you know, I forget all the names, like the ZTK package, and GM always says it's just nonsensical, like whatever that means. ZTK, woohoo! But you know, it's max attack. This one doesn't even have a front end lift, and it's, you know, the alignment's like this right now. It's in full track setting. And it's not beating me up. I'm driving around in track mode. I think the springs are about as stiff as they can get. And day at the park, baby. This is, you could do this all day. Just kidding. Like all good GM performance vehicles, this thing eats gasoline as if gasoline was cheap. I don't know, as if we weren't in California. I don't know how else to say it, but like, glug, 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 glug. So you start to think to yourself, like, well, what does this, compare to? And right now, I mean, there's not a Porsche that's keeping up with it. Yeah, the numbers are ludicrous. 233 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 2.3, which is that's kind of where a 911 Turbo is. But then this has almost twice the horsepower, so this will keep going in a straight line much further. So I'm trying to think, like, Ferrari 296 is probably a pretty close competitor. I think the Ferrari is going to be a bit lighter. It's 800 some horsepower, only on the rear axle. It's got that electric assist, so real good torque for acceleration, sharper handling. And I think largely, not because Chevy can't make a car sharp, they can. It's just where you get into weight. Like once you get over 3,800 pounds, you just have a heavy car. It's like the problem with the Nissan GTR. It's almighty, but it's just heavy. The Ferrari's twice the money, but it's certainly not twice the car. I'm just trying to think what else is made. I mean, Lamborghini Temerario. Very similar, actually, because that's probably also, no one's weighed that yet, but it's also probably, getting hefty, and that'd be an interesting one. That's a good, because that's like 900 some horsepower. Although we know there's a super monster version coming, which is going to be well over 1,000 horsepower. So also the Revuelto, boy. The Revuelto, it feels about as quick. It's just feels bigger. The C8 it's not as big as people think it is. Maybe it's heavy because it's got a lot of stuff in it, but it's not massive. Whereas the Revuelto just feels like a really big car. Oh, this is so good to drive fast. Wow. Yeah, the top end just never goes away. And I guess there's a big difference between something like this and like the Z06. Is that Z06 makes the power it makes, and then you run out of power. You don't run out of power with this car. You really don't. You run out of gasoline. You might run out of tire, but you don't run out of power. And I keep looking at the gas gauge. I've dropped a quarter tank since I started talking. So, with that in mind, I should probably wrap the video up. All right. So to go back to those questions we started with, yes, this is a terrific sports car. I would love to have this on a race track. It's just real aggressive. It's definitely a supercar. I don't think anyone will question that. Is it a hypercar? Well, I'm pretty hyped. But it has more horsepower than the original hypercar, the Bugatti Veyron. But some of the other attributes that make a hypercar, like a bespoke chassis, funny doors, it doesn't have. But boy, I think it has the performance. What is a hypercar? Anyhow, the real question, though, would I have it? Yes, I would have it. I'm not in love with how the C8 looks. I never have been. But I am in love with the way it drives. And it just dominates a back road. Like, wow. And again, The transmit, I mean, we know the engine's going to be incredible. 5.5 liters making 1,064 horsepower, and I can buy it? Like, yes, that's incredible, but the transmission's incredible. The steering's incredible. The grip's incredible. The brakes are otherworldly. They're better than the engine. I'm kidding. But they're great. So yeah, in a heartbeat, I would absolutely have one. I think I'd even take it in yellow. Anyhow, that concludes this here episode of Driving with Jonny. Thank you for watching. Hope you love this one. We'll be back next week with another one. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, share it, leave a comment, all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next one.